Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to build models quickly, and this brings together some of the things I've been doing for the last 10 years as an independent consultant and trainer, particularly in Rhapsody, but also I've had some Cameo experience. The principle here is really that SysML as a language is a very powerful language, but it's very flexible and it doesn't include a process. And when you start to train people into using it, you come to the notion of, well, what is the process? But as soon as you have a process, you can speed it up. And if you can speed it up by using automation, then that automation can mean that you've got consistency. So if you have lots of people doing the same thing and they're using the same automation, you get a very regular modeling approach. And if you get a very regular modeling approach, you can then start to tune it. But also you can get people who are not necessarily SysML experts to engage in the use of the language to capture or solve business problems. So the principle here is I'm going to create models, not from scratch, but using a helper profile. And this helper profile started in 2015, so there's a lot of work in this, and it's called the Executable MBSE Profile because it was designed as a Harmony-like support profile, but based around the notion that textual requirements were coming from doors next, for example, and that we want to have a much closer relationship between the model and the requirements. In the sense, we're going to create the requirements from the model. So the profile as it is actually supports multiple ways of capturing functions, and the approach I'll show you today is actually not Harmony-like, it's using blocks as functions. So you can see here the profile adds these menus, and the menus allow me to create models quickly. Most methods I've come across in those 10 years, well actually the 15 years before that, were around use cases, and I've got some automation here to create a package structure for use cases, but not just for use cases, but for requirements. So this is an example of the automation. I've got a use case package, I've got actor packages, I've got a requirements package, and these are new term stereotypes added as part of the Executable MBSE profile, because if I have a new term package type, I can add new menus to it, and the new menus can add tables which are useful or diagrams which are useful for that particular type of package. So this means I get a more regular type of model. So this is an incl pump system, and I've got stakeholder requirements package here. So one of my key automations, so let's manage glucose levels for a patient, and one of the automations I have, for example, is to move requirements into the requirements package, and then they're going to then appear in the table, which is automatically scoped, and we can see what diagrams they're on. Another automation, put a boundary box on here. I've got some double-click automation, create an activity diagram. Creates a diagram based on a template where we can use an activity diagram to capture the use case. So system is operating normally, might be a precondition. Requests meal bolus. System senses glucose level. It may calculate. So this is using a flowchart-like syntax to create use case steps. So if I created some system requirements at this level, so a different level, so I've got a help here to create system requirements rather than stakeholder requirements. And I establish a dependency relationship to that requirements package. Then I can get it to automatically move the requirements into a system requirement package. So this is about having a close dovetailing between models and requirements really. And notice if I add an actor, so perhaps I've got an actor which is a clinician, then that's being captured in the actor package. If I had a table here, actors use cases, I can see the relationships between the actors and the use cases. So that's one example of automation to create models quickly. If I created a different model, maybe it was an insulin pump system, maybe it was a ADAS, adaptive cruise control, or something like that, and I create the model using the helper, then I get a very regular approach across all my models. Adjust vehicle speed. What the helper's doing then is really instantiating the support necessary to build the model, but also manage where things are created in the model, move things automatically, etc. There's other stuff here. So I've got some automation about how do you architect how do you create an architecture, and I'm using a few conventions, or I always name the diagrams beginning with the SysML abbreviation, and I name the package types with the underscore identifier for the type of package. And then this helps with Rhapsody because this becomes a separate file and it's more easy to see. The prefixing of the package names means that if I've got multiple projects, then that name will be unique, be able to find it. And if you do system engineering, well, generally the generic concept of a block, where it might be a block subsystem, so I've got specializations here, blocks to make that clearer. I'm allowing spaces in the names of things, which actually doesn't allow automatically, and I've captured or automatically set properties on the model so that it's going to work straight into Engineering Workflow Manager with the granularity. Few other bits of automation. Actually, I've got this layered approach, so you can optionally, with these package types, put all your use case packages and actor packages into an operational architecture package, which is a layer perhaps that you start with, that customer concept of operations, and then you might have a package that's representing the logical architecture, and I put my architecture package into that logical architecture. And then what that means when you open the project is you've got an understanding of what the layers are here. Functional architecture layer is another. There's another one. So let me just stack this. Once you've created this, it's easier to see what's happening. And different people may be working in different layers. And then you have this stacking notion where you can have different functional architecture layers in here, or different logical architectures, or physical architectures with different layers. Got a concept here of function blocks, for example, which is one of the methods that's discovered actually works relatively intuitively for doing a functional decomposition. So that's a very quick introduction to how to build a model using automation. The latest thing I've got is some automation around creating package diagrams for navigation. So if I auto-create an index package diagram, I won't do it recursively. This gives me a view of the layout of the project. And that layout of the project diagram will work in Engineering Workflow Manager, so it's visible through the web client. I've got some hyperlinks automatically created here to the table view, so you can move quickly from this layout. Populate some relationships here. For example, if I create actors in the use case package, they get thrown into the actor package. If I create requirements, they get put into this requirements package. And I've got some multiple levels of nesting. So that gives you a way of navigating. If I enable the enhanced tooltip, which I have disabled because this model is being developed still, and not seeing the preview makes it easier to build diagrams. But if I enabled diagram preview, then if I hover over a diagram, I can see it, sort of contents of it, without navigating away from this diagram. That's the notion of auto-creating package diagrams, which again, making models easy to build and navigate. There's a whole load more that I've got. This help is actually free and it's on GitHub, so that includes all the source code and licensed through GPL3, and you can see the history. So this help has been in development for over 8 years now, so lots of stuff. So I make my money through consulting and delivery of training, but then that's finding out what you want and then making the tools fit what you need. So if you have any or need to contact me, then send me an email. Thank you very much.